Good evening, good evening, good evening, family. Can you all hear me okay? Okay, I hope so. Welcome to Mosaic with TJ, and I am TJ Randolph. I am so excited that you have decided to join me tonight. I'm very excited because I have a very special guest. But before we get to our very special guest, a couple of things I want to say. As I told you, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I'm going to be talking about it at the beginning of each broadcast because we must save the tatas. We must. I shared with you that I've been getting mammograms since the age of 29 because there was a mass in my breast, and thankfully it was benign. But because of that, I've been getting mammograms since the age of 29, and I am now 54. So I know quite a few people who are breast cancer survivors, and regrettably, I have lost some people who are close to me who did not survive it. And my husband, even though I did not meet his mom, she passed from breast cancer as well. So again, I encourage each woman to do your annual mammograms. And if it's hard for you to remember, I usually do it in my birth month. So, find a date or a month that is important to you so you can remember to do that annually. Okay, so that's that. Um, I'm doing something a little different tonight, and I'm really excited. And I want to shout out to Chicago Rilla because Chicago Rilla is the one who told me about this young man and said, you need to check him out. So I did. And he said he is up and coming. He's on the move. And within weeks, you hear me, within weeks of me checking him out, weeks of when Rilla hit me to him, blowing up, blowing up, blowing up. So his voice is, there's no comparison, but the wisdom is even more unmatched. Okay. So we're going to bring up the one, the only El Guapo. Welcome him to the platform. Hello, sir.
Oh, wow. Hello, TJ. You have me blushing under all this brown. Can I give my little quick intro?
Please do.
Salute and salutations. Thank you so much for inviting me to your platform this evening. This is an honor. I'm glad to be here.
And I want to give a shout out to the beautiful Labea, your
Yes,
soon to be Mrs. I want to give a shout out to her because I've heard her on your platform a couple of times and she seems to be so gracious, so humble, just beautiful inside and out. So, congratulations in advance. And thank you, Labea, for allowing him to grace me with his presence.
yeah. Can I say thank you also? Because I know she's
Absolutely.
watching from Colombia.
Absolutely.
She's in Bogota for this week, handling some business and stuff like that. But my pretty is always thinking about me. So check this out. I was gonna put this on my Instagram. I still will, but she sent me my favorite cologne. This is I don't know if you can see it. Hold up. There we
Oh,
go.
okay.
Magnetic Blend 7. All right. And she
Okay.
hooked me up. Yeah, she sent this to me. I came home from a business trip and let's see if I can open it. Yeah.
Oh, that's a
That's a
beautiful
grown man's cologne right there. For real. Yeah. She
Not for the
dropped about
perpetrator.
300 on this. So, yeah, I appreciate my baby.
You
Shout out
see
to
your baby?
Labea.
You see LeBay on there? She said, "Hey."
Oh, look at her. I told you she's watching. She better with that big old ring I got her.
Yes. So yes, that's. She said it's a. You said it's a grown man cologne. It's from a
Oh, yeah.
grown woman.
Yeah. There you go.
That part right there. Okay.
Yeah.
So what we're doing tonight is cocktails and conversations, and I have my sangria here.
I have a little scotch. It's mostly ice. Don't be
Okay.
afraid, people.
A little sangria with the instead of ice, I use the frozen mangoes and frozen
Oh,
blueberries to make it a little chilled. Okay,
smart.
with some red wine or pink, a blush wine, shall we say? So
Right.
we're gonna get cheers, El Wapo.
Cheers.
I
Salud.
hope I hope that you all have your cocktails as well. Okay, La Bea says hola todos. What is? Tell me what that
Toros.
means.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so a couple of things I want to get to. And the first being, I want to thank you for your service in our United States Armed Forces, first and foremost. So you
Yeah.
said, so I salute you, you know. So, so,
Likewise. Yeah.
yes. So thank you for your service. But let's talk about your rise in these YouTube streets, shall we?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So,
So I
so
started
yeah.
my channel.
Hmm.
I started my channel, Beautiful Lies. I actually started it a year ago, in February of 2020. And I made one video and it was awful. I had one of my buddies that normally, if I have a business idea or something, I run it by him for him to tear it apart. And he
Hmm.
tore it apart. And I was like, I can't put this out. Now, I still have the video. And I promised my team that when I hit 100,000 subscribers, I will release my first awful video. But it was 14 months after that, in April of this year, April 5th, I did my first video that I actually published to
Hmm.
YouTube. And yeah, I got bit by the bug, and I was blessed to align with the lead attorney and his mastermind group. And I've gotten some great mentorship. And it took me about 5 months to get monetized. I just had my full month monetized, and I actually made decent money. You know, if you
Good for
spread it
you.
out over a year, it's over 20 grand. So that's not bad. Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa.
No, I didn't make 20 grand in a month. What I'm saying
Okay.
is if you spread it
Still,
out over the
yeah,
year, yeah, if
that's
I
still
do the
good.
same this upcoming year that I did the first month, then I'll make over 20,000. So um yeah, and we don't give momentum back here. I'm all about success. I believe in success principles and stuff
Yes.
like that. So yeah, it's been great. But one of the best things I can tell you, and my channel is all about leadership, mentorship, and one of the things I can tell you is that when a mentor tells you something, do it exactly as he tells you or she tells you. Don't make
Mm-hmm.
any changes, and you'll be highly, highly impressed with the results. So some of the stuff lead attorney had suggested I did, I took it like it was an order. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I did it to a T, and it paid off. So a lot of that goes to, of course, first of all, I'm a man of God, so to God, number one. But lead
Right.
attorneys helped me out tremendously. So yeah.
Shout out to the lead attorney, and he has been definitely a source of support for me. And I joined his Patreon, so shout out to the lead attorney, and also shout out to the Lapeef Network, because actually,
Yeah.
I once I started this thing as a hobby, I started watching their shows and calling in. And Jr. has been really. I joined his Patreon, and he's been giving me some tools. As a matter of fact, the lighting, my camera, my microphone, my
Right.
microphone. So I have to get my backdrop, and that's already ordered off Amazon. But
Excellent. Excellent.
so I'm doing those things, and I thank Jr. for and Lapeef Network for allowing me on when I call in, and so it's been really been a blessing. So I appreciate that. Um,
He's a
so
great guy.
yeah, he is, and they are growing leaps and bounds as well.
Crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
It's bananas. So what would your advice be to a young or not so young
Hmm.
YouTubers such as myself, other than what I've already done or am doing to grow my channel?
So I can tell you right now, there are three things I can think of.
Mm-hmm.
Two are success principles. One is a YouTube principle. Okay.
Okay.
There is a DC of success. So people say success is when preparation and opportunity meet. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be prepared when the opportunity presents itself. If you are not prepared, opportunities are never lost. If you know anything about physics, it's the same thing as momentum. The conservation of energy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Momentum is never lost. It just changes states, just like opportunities. So an opportunity is not going to be lost. It's going to be passed on to the next new creator. All right.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So number one, be prepared. I'm a studier. I read a lot. I absorb a lot of content. I barely watch television.
Mm-hmm.
Most of what I do has to do with this YouTube space and learning from other content creators. The second thing is the DC of success, which is discipline and consistency. I have this audio clip of Mike Tyson that talks about without discipline, you ain't nothing. Because when it gets hard, you'll quit.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to do the things that you hate like you love them. All right. There's a lot of stuff that I don't necessarily want to do, but I do it because it's part of me being mission focused and results driven. It's going to help me get to my end goal. So discipline yourself. If you commit to a schedule, do it and be extremely consistent. Not only will your audience reward you for it, but the YouTube algorithm actually rewards consistency, especially in the beginning. If they see that you're consistent, and you're going to have to put in the work at first, you're going to have to pump out video after video after video without any visible results.
Mm-hmm.
Before they actually pick up on you and say, hey, lead attorney, he still does this. But my channel wasn't even searchable in the beginning. You could put in Beautiful Lies, you wouldn't even find it. You had to put in Beautiful Lies channel, and then you'd see the picture of me in the car and stuff like that.
Right.
So be disciplined in what you're going to do. Whatever you say you're going to do it. I have a motto with my daughters that we as Guapos, as a family, we do what we're supposed to do when we're supposed to do it, whether we feel like it or not. That's how we do. That's how we live. Do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, whether you feel like it or not, and be consistent in that action. And that's it. So the third thing I would say is that niche down your content. And you were talking about this before we got on camera. So you have to find an angle and stick with it. The days of the In Living Color variety show, that does not work on YouTube because they don't know how to promote your content to potential viewers. So find something and stay within your niche. Here's what you need to realize. It may seem like you're limiting yourself when you do that, but you have to understand that YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. Okay. So there are billions of people there. So your small niche, you take a look at Abba and Preach, you take a look at Kevin Samuels, 1.2, 1.4 and 1.2 million subscribers, respectively.
Hmm.
That's less than 1/1000th of the people that are on YouTube to get a million subscribers. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, niche your content down, speak on something that you're either passionate about or highly knowledgeable about, and stay in your lane, as we say. So that's El Wapo's 3 suggestions on how to make YouTube work.
So, what is your niche, sir? Sir, what would you consider your niche?
Leadership and mentorship for Black men.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Did you start it out that way?
No, this channel actually started out as a video diary for my daughters in the slim event. And the Lord Jesus is going to allow El Wapo to live to be like 97, 98. I know it. But in the event something happens and I have too much up here that I need to let my girls know. And I wanted to debunk a lot of the beautiful lies, especially in the social media era and stuff
Mhm.
like that they're going to be privy to. And so it started as a video diary for them. And one of the reasons I'm not perfect. I'm not
Mhm.
perfect. El Wapo messes up a lot. I mess up a whole lot, but I try not to cuss and stuff like
Mhm.
that and everything, because someday, I want them to be able to come back and review this information and be like, yo, daddy put all this out here for us. So it
Mhm.
started there, but I realized that we as men, especially in our community, we absolutely have to set the tone, okay, and the pace and lead from the front. Okay.
Mhm.
You're a veteran, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. We lead from the front. The best leaders in history have led from the front. Okay. So we have to lead from the front. And in learning how to lead, you have to see. Can I go off on a tangent for a little
Go
bit? I
off
don't
on a
mean to hold.
tangent. You are the
Watch
guest. Do
this.
your thing.
Boy,
Yes.
I'm giving you exclusives, TJ. You got me with the scotch, and I got something exclusive for you. So listen, this is going to be good. When it comes to interactions between men and women, specifically traditional men and modern women,
Hmm.
specifically American Black men and women, there is a huge debate over this word called submission.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's almost become a 4-letter word in our community. You know what I mean? Oh,
Yes.
I see him. Chicago Rilla. Can I say something real fast about Chicago?
Go ahead and give it to him. Yes.
Chicago Rilla was one of my very first subscribers, and I couldn't believe, because I knew who he was. I was like, this is a fake account. I was like, that can't be the real Chicago Rilla. And for real, it was. And Rilla, I appreciate you so much for everything that you've done for me, man. Like, honestly, I know you'll never even take credit for it, but my channel wouldn't be where it is now. He was like one of my first 15 subscribers, for real. And he's rode with me ever since. So, Chicago, I appreciate you, brother. But like I was saying, we were talking about submission, right?
Hmm.
Watch this. The woman supposedly needs to submit to the authority, leadership, and guidance of the man that is placed in her life to guide her,
Right.
either a father or a husband. That's really the way it should be. Okay.
Hmm.
Look at who we have to submit to as men. God first, as the prophet and priest of our household. Now, I believe I have a strong, close relationship with God, but I ain't never seen him. So imagine having to submit to something, an entity that you've never even seen, and submit completely through
Hmm.
faith, completely through faith and
Yes.
discernment that the things that you're doing in your life uh, is faithful to the word that's put in front of us, be it Islam, Judaism, Christianity, Hinduism, whatever. Okay. Um, Also, I have to submit to other men, which, pause, don't take that the wrong way.
I know what you mean.
But like I was talking about with the lead attorney, if I'm blessed to have somebody, another man, actually mentor me and he gives me a suggestion, I take it like it is an order from the commander in chief, and I
Mhm.
do it to a T. So the level of submission that men have to subject themselves to is vastly greater than what women have to subject themselves. Because guess what? Labea sees me every day, and I get checks and balances all the time. She can real time see what's going
Mhm.
on. So I don't know how we got there because you got me drinking scotch, but yeah, that's a big deal to me. Like this whole submission debate is a complete fallacy. Ladies, you got it easy. You have no idea what it's like to submit on my level
And
and
quite
have to learn
frankly,
these lessons. Yeah, I'm sorry.
it's no, it's I think it's ignorance. And the reason why I say that because I was ignorant.
Yeah,
Again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I went to college. Well, me and Kevin went to the same high school, but he's 2 years younger than me. So I didn't really know him. Got to know him at the University of Oklahoma. He was talking about, I think Scheherazade Ali came to our school. I was probably one
mm,
of those deltas that was up in arms about submission and about the book that I had never read.
right.
So, again, I'm like, how dare you? What do you mean submit? What do you mean? So, ignorance
Yeah.
and ignorance thinking that it was somehow a weakness.
Hmm.
So you're absolutely right. And it's funny that you say that because when I called into Kevin's show, I think it was at the last, maybe December, October, November, December last year, I think I said those words that, as a young person, young woman, I thought submission basically was equivalent to a 4-letter word.
Right.
But again, that is another reason that, I didn't talk about, but I started my channel largely as a hobby. Um, and to your point, going back to the discipline and the consistency, I started as a hobby and I said, well, I'll maybe do it once a week, But as I've
Right.
gotten more and more into it, it's becoming more than once a week. But the reason that I wanted to do that is because I know how we got to it. You said we were talking about your niche and how it's evolved. That's
Yes.
what it was.
Yes.
So what
We
I
having too much
know,
fun.
yeah, what I know is me. And what I know is the mistakes that I've made as well as the successes. And being that I am 54 years young, if I could help young women specifically, in general, but Black women specifically, to learn from the things I did not so well, particularly as it relates in man and woman relationships, and also even as a mother, because I raised my daughter as a single mom. That's how I'm hoping that it will help. So I don't know if I'll have to narrow it down, but so far so good. But what I know is me. But submission it's not a 4-letter word. I am totally submissive to my husband. And I can't tell you, it's the most freeing thing I've ever done.
You sound like Labea. You sound like Labea. Seriously. You know what's funny?
Hmm.
We hear and I don't want to make the broadcast about Kevin Samuels or anything like that, but I'll tell you this. We hear that modern women have all the same talking points, right?
Hmm.
So do wives. You wives have the same talking points.
Yes.
Hey,
Yes.
ladies out there, pay attention. You will be the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. You want to be a wife, you better get around some wives. I'm just telling you right now. I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, TJ, may I make a humble suggestion?
Make it.
Uh, uh, double L squared, ladies legacy. You got your man. Listen, you hit that, as Coach Greg Adams would say, you hit the buzzer beater from half court, and won.
Yeah.
Not many women, let alone African American women, get married 50 plus. That doesn't happen often. So you
Right.
hit the buzzer beater, but you see how much better it is on that side. And thank
Mhm.
God that you were able to get there. Set these ladies up, set them up, set them up for success in the beginning. We need a counterpoint to all of the madness that's in the media these days. We really do. So, ladies' legacy, that's what I would.
You
If
know,
I were you, you're somebody that actually won. You have the great thing. Here's the thing, another success principle.
mhm.
When you're going through issues in your life and everything, it adds very little value to complain about your problems. But one of the strongest things that you can ever do is give a struggle victory story, or in the Black church, we call it a testimony.
Testimony.
Amen. Amen. Yeah, you're with me. TJ,
Yes.
you're all right with me. I can't wait to meet
Yeah.
Mr. Mosaic, your husband. What
Oh
I don't
my
know what to
gosh.
call him.
Oh my, Mr. Randolph.
Mr. Randolph. I can't
Also,
wait to meet Mr. Randolph. I would love to meet him. Me, you, him, and Labea. We need to all go and grab a meal, break some bread.
yes.
But yeah, it's amazing that people don't realize,
Mm-hmm.
that there is almost no benefit. Oh boy, maybe I shouldn't say this. I don't want to say the wrong thing on your channel.
Say it. We grown
You want me to
here.
say it? Okay, we want to say
We
it. Let me sip
grown.
the scotch real fast. I'm gonna say
We
it. Hold
grown.
on. There is little to no benefit in sympathy. If you can't overcome the problem, there's not much value in you telling me about it. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
People all too often are willing. Have you ever noticed that people with worthless opinions give advice for free?
Stop
Woo,
it, man.
hold
Go
on.
ahead.
I'm a James Brown myself. Jump back, want to kiss myself. Yeah. People with worthless opinions give advice away for free. So when you when you get in the company of somebody that that you have to invest in one way, form, or fashion just to hear from them, you're probably in good company. And too often we hear people out here spewing, verbal diarrhea that's
Mm.
worthless, and
You
go ahead. I'm sorry.
no. Interestingly enough, my daughter and I, because again, honing in on this niche, I invited her onto my show one time.
Okay.
And from there it has been, yes, we want Danny. We want Danny. But one of the things I love, because she's 27, they've been married, I said 2 years, but 3 years. They
Mm-hmm.
just had their first child, my baby girl, my namesake, my
April
granddaughter.
29th.
Yep.
I remember.
Yes. And what my daughter was saying is that when she knew she wanted to be married, she started hanging around married women.
Yeah.
Because again, her mom wasn't married. But she
Right.
also said, if you know that you want to, she said, Mom, I couldn't continue to blame you if I wasn't married. At some point, if you don't see what you have, once you leave home, you have to seek the knowledge for yourself. And so
Right.
what she sought the knowledge to talk to other women, and just so happened many of the women were in her church to talk about
Okay.
what she wanted. So absolutely. And that's another reason that we're doing it, because now you have the point of view from a woman who messed up and then found, by the grace of God, got my mind right so I could,
Yeah.
have my husband find me. And then someone, my daughter, who knew at 22, this is a good dude. I need to check myself and my expectations. Let me get in where I fit in.
Yes. Your daughter's name is Danny.
Yes.
Good for Danny. Good for Danny. Listen, so you guys got married right around the same time.
Let me tell you something. 2 weddings in 2 months.
Yeah. You know what? That's the double double. I call that a
Yes.
win. I don't care what
Yes.
anybody else says. People may try to get slick at the mouth. That's the Baltimore in me coming out. But yeah, nah, that is a win right there, because you got 2 black families,
Yeah.
not 2 black single. Man, good for Danny and good for you. I look, TJ, we are all right. I'm very protective of Labea. I would
Mm-hmm.
not let Labea. I'm careful who I let her hang out with. Y'all can hang out without me there. I ain't even got to be there.
Well,
I'll be
thank
like,
you,
you
sir.
and
Thank you,
TJ go
sir.
ahead, go have some brunch. You know
Yes,
what I'm
thank you,
saying? Just
sir.
if you
Absolutely.
have some mimosas, just catch the Uber home, or I'll send a car. I got
Oh,
you.
for sure, for sure,
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
right.
And I remember LeBea talking about that, she said that you're very protective. And she said, and I said that when my honey gets in protective mode, that does something to me. I'm just saying.
Yeah, she likes that. She likes that. She does.
Yes, that does something to me. So to that point, since we're talking about this,
Okay.
I looked at a couple of your videos, and ladies, this is important, because the dating scene is very different now than when I was in my 20s, my 30s, and even in my 40s. And
Right.
and I'm gonna tell you, the revelation got to me because I'm just gonna be honest. I look all right, but I used to be hot. I mean that thing. And
Mm-hmm.
when I started noticing that my intent, the attention I was getting was starting to wane about 35, 40ish, I'm like, wait a minute here. I'm like, what? So I had to start paying attention. So the dating scene is different. So I had to get my mind right because the rules are different. So I looked at some of your videos, and one you talked about your first impressions video.
Yes. Yes. So first impressions absolutely matter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You have 7 seconds on an initial meet to make a first impression, and then after that, confirmation bias begins to set in, and that's almost irreversible. People start to form opinions of you, and then you're in trouble. So, we're talking to the women here.
Yeah. Well, we can
Let's
talk to
talk to
both,
the
but again,
ladies.
yeah, we can. Yeah, let's talk to the
Let's
ladies
talk to the
because
ladies.
let's talk to the ladies.
Eye contact. Now, let's even back up because I hate to use the term pet peeve, but I have a huge pet peeve, and I just don't allow women that are important to me to curse around me. You're either going to watch your language or you're going to get away from me. Period. There's
Yeah.
no in between. And that goes
Yeah.
for everybody, not just my
Mm-hmm.
lady. You know, if
Mm-hmm.
my grandmother was cussing, my grandmother's an evangelist, that wouldn't happen. But
Yeah.
if I had my sister doesn't cuss like that and everything, and she's
Mm-hmm.
happily married. Like I said, y'all wives think alike. You
Mm-hmm.
guys think alike. You know, Labea knows that. Yeah, that's a non sequitur. You can't start non-starter. You can't
Right.
do that. Number two, are you speaking in a light, feminine tone? That your voice is what it is. My voice is
Mm-hmm.
what it is. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But are you speaking from a feminine perspective, or are you challenging? Are you looking for the debate? They in the manosphere, there's this thing. Oh, I'm going to give you guys some secrets. You want a secret? Here's a manosphere secret. You ever heard of an ish test? You know what ish is? Like a poop test.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
So women ish test men a lot, right? But we men, we have ish tests too. All right. And here's one. And this has been around the manosphere. This is not my original thought. But
Mm-hmm.
every once in a while, we as men, when we're vetting women, we might bark at you a little bit, not to make you feel threatened, but to show a bit of dominance. Now, when you
Okay.
do this, you normally get one of three reactions. You get the woman that her feelings are hurt, and she might even cry. That's the best reaction because she's operating in her feminine nature, and that gives you the opportunity, sweetheart, I'm so sorry, and this may seem like, but you guys test us too, so I don't feel so bad for doing this. I don't want to hear it. Stop the judgment. Number two is the silence. She doesn't know what to do. Okay, I've seen that. I think that's the most common. The number three is, who the F you talking to? The chick that wants to fight. That's the one you leave alone because she's purely in her masculine energy. Okay. If I'm 6'2", I'm ashamed to say I'm about to get back in the gym, but I'm like 230. I weigh more than the lead attorney right now. But yeah, 6'2", naturally I should be like 205.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big dude. If as a lady you're gonna bark back at me, you're not gonna win that fight physically. So what are you doing? And that translates over into if we're in public and something breaks out, are you going to try to jump in the middle of two men fighting? Can I give you guys, I'm going to give you guys something very interesting to look at. Watch
Yes.
this. There's a very famous boxer named Canelo Alvarez. Okay. He's Mexican. He's a redheaded dude from Mexico. Fantastic boxer, completely undefeated with the exception of one loss to Floyd Mayweather Jr. Okay. He is about to fight a dude named Caleb Plant from Tennessee, another very good boxer, very good boxer. They had a press conference and they got into it. And maybe I'll still make the video about it. They got into it. Canelo pushes Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant falls back and then comes in and tries to smack Canelo in the face. But as they're approaching each other two women in the press box go and try to stop these two, like they put their hands up like this to try to stop these trained killers from interacting with each other. That's not the woman you want. Lady, I want you to be scared if the fight is about to happen. I don't want you to engage. That's not the woman I want. You're way out of place. As Sinful to P would say, you're out of pocket. That is a man's world. And seriously, that is a man's world. That is a man's interaction. And you could lose your life inadvertently through collateral damage.
True. Yes.
So, yeah. I'll tell you, these ladies could learn a lot from you, TJ. You're doing the Lord's work.
You know, Guapo, I tell you, I want to do it because, again, sometimes we just don't know. I tell you, I was talking to someone. I think I was talking to Bolo. I don't know if you know Bolo from Bolo TV.
I do know Bolo. I don't know. I know his work. Yes.
And I was talking to him. I said, it's so interesting because back on the campus of University of Oklahoma, and even after I left, you know, I would date and I would meet men and I would say, you know, what is it you're looking for in a woman? And, you know, it's just a natural conversation you have because we didn't have the social media. So we're having these conversations to, you know, well, what are you looking for in a woman? And a man would say to me, you know, I'm looking for a woman that's, you know, it's about her business. She's a strong woman. She's independent. She knows what she wants. But here's the thing, though.
Right.
It wasn't until I got older that I started to think, when a man says strong is something different than what a woman thinks is strong. Mm-hmm. And especially if the man is saying he wants a strong woman, you have to take in consideration, is the man saying that he wants a strong woman based on the fact that he saw his parents from a 2-parent household and he saw his mother as being strong, as taking care of the family, taking care of her husband. That's what he thinks strength is.
Right.
But me, coming from a single parent household, I'm thinking strength means something completely different. So we were saying the same thing, but not the same meaning. So the communication, so again,
bars. I'm with you. Yeah.
We were saying, and I'm thinking I'm being strong based on what my understanding of what strength is, but he's thinking strength is something completely different based on what he saw his mother do with his father.
Right. We are all products of our environment. We absolutely are. And I'll tell you what, and this is why communication is so important, and not to just listen to each other, but actually hear what each other has to say. And I'll tell you what, you want to know what I think is the biggest problem in the African-American community? Not yet, Chicago. It's not kicking in yet. And I drink Macallan 18, but thank you. But no, it's not kicking in. I'm a big guy. This is just one. So, and I still got half of it. But here's what I think is the biggest problem in the African-American community. We have been conditioned. Now, I will say this. This was systemic. We have been conditioned to be very thin-skinned and to have very hard hearts. What we need in our community is to develop a thicker skin, not to be so easily offended and taken off of our line, you know, not to be moved out of our frame, and to develop a soft heart.
Yes.
An understanding and a love for one another. And I will say this, I'm going to say this, and this may not be popular, but I'm a firm believer that Black men hold their women up on a pedestal more than any other man in the world. We pedestalize our women higher than any other demographic of man. Okay. Our women don't do that for us. We don't. Ladies, Black women, you do not pedestalize Black men the way. Say something. I dare you to go out in the street and say something to a Black boy, teenager, that's full of piss and vinegar about his mother, and see what happens to you. Yeah. Then I want you to go and say something to a young Black woman about her father.
True.
And see which one has the more volatile reaction.
True.
So black men, we hold y'all ladies up. It's really you guys not listening and hearing us. That's really what it is. May not be popular, but that is what I believe is the truth. That is exactly what's the truth. And it's tough. But ladies, that thin skin does you no good. And that hard heart,
No.
they talk about that thing in the Bible.
Yeah.
That really does you no good.
And I think it's not an excuse. I will say though, a lot of times, and I'll be honest, that was one of the things that scared me because I felt as I got older, my heart was becoming hardened. That I
Yeah.
was
Could you
becoming,
feel it?
yes, and I was becoming bitter, and it scared me. And because I didn't, there are women in my family that I love with everything that I have inside, but I didn't want to be that way. I didn't
Yeah.
I didn't want to be that way. And I saw it happening. And you realize it, whereas that I had something to say about everything. Whereas that, and then you combine that with the military, all you know is this. And but not figure out what, I'm so successful in this one area of my life, but I'm not successful in this other area of my life.
Right.
So that was the beginning of the self-awareness, but it's even after the beginning, I still had to do some work that I didn't even realize I needed to do yet.
Yeah.
But I tell you, if I didn't, and so you talk about the first impressions, but you also talk about where women are out of order with the tone and the tenor of their voice.
Yeah. Yeah. And so when it was Ayanna Van Zant that said that women are out of order, and she just doubled down recently on that.
Right.
One of the things that I believe when it comes to women, and I will get back to the tone and tenor, but this is important because when I hear conversations, I'm trained to not just listen to what is said, but what's not being said. Also, what's reading between the lines. Women are literally out of order in the chronology of what they want to do in their life. I have a good buddy of mine. He's going to get mad. I'm going to use this name. We're going to call him Fast Break. Okay. Good buddy of mine. I went to the Air Force Academy with him.
I'm like, is that his call sign?
No. He was captain of the Air Force Academy track team.
Okay.
Brother, 6'5", 6'6" from New Jersey, hurdler. I mean, this guy is a specimen. You know what I'm saying? And his wife went to college. They met in college. Now, she didn't go to the Air Force Academy. She went to school in Denver. Okay. Air Force Academy is in Colorado Springs, about 60 miles south of Denver. All right. So nice girl from a very nice family. It's funny. Her family and my first wife's family were some of the two first black families in Colorado. They were. And they know each other. Like, you say their last names and people know who they are. They have been married for 15 years. 15 years. My buddy is a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force right now, in the Space Force. He's at Space Command. Yeah, brother. Okay. His wife has never had to work, has borne him 4 sons, 4 boys.
Yes.
My buddy's about to retire, and she has a dream to do interior design. She's done some continuing education, from what I understand, and they have been building her interior design business for like 2-3 years now. And when he retires, the money thing is done, and they can focus on her because she did it in the right order. She maximized on her youth and her beauty. She bore him his legacy early. And now the rest of his life is going to be about her. So that's what Ayanna Van Zant is talking about when she says you're out of order. You have your chronology wrong. Ladies, you are fools if you think. I asked my mother this question, and even my mom got this wrong. And I love Doña Guapa. But the most valuable thing a woman has is her youth. I don't care what anybody says. That's why a woman says, oh, I gave you my best years.
It's true.
You know what I mean? The most valuable thing a woman has is her youth. If you spend your youth pursuing the career, which has nothing to do with your legacy, because it's not your role to be a provider, it's your role to cultivate and be the first influencer of the next generation, then you've wasted your time. Don't spend your 20s and your early 30s pursuing education and money when you meet a dude like me. I'm gonna tell you right now, I know LeBay is watching. LeBay makes like 90 grand a year, and I don't care. I don't care. LeBay makes more money than 85% of men in this country, and she's an immigrant. I don't care.
Right.
If I could get her out of her teaching contract right now so she didn't have to teach this year, I just have her work for me. I don't care. And she has gone to school. She has been a professor in Columbia. She's finishing up her second master's degree. She's putting in a lot of work. But it's my job to provide.
Yeah.
So I don't care about her 90 grand. I mean, I'm proud of her. I'm not dismissing it. But what I am saying is that, listen, when you come across the right guy and he starts vetting you for marriage, you don't understand what it is. So maximize on your youth and your femininity and your fertility. That's what you do. Now, the tone and tenor of your voice. The good Father has blessed me with a nice voice. And if you think my voice is nice, you should hear my dad, Don Wapple. That man's voice will melt Antarctica. Yeah, I kid you not. My pops just turned 72, and I'm 6'2". My pops is like 5'8".
Okay.
But man, when that man opens his mouth,
that's what's up.
The room shuts down.
I love it.
Really shuts down. And what I'll tell you is, ladies, that you're gonna TJ, you were in the Army?
I was in the Army and the Navy.
Oh, you did the Army and the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
So at the Air Force Academy, we had to learn a lot of quotes. And one of my favorite quotes, I don't remember the whole thing, is Major General John M. Schofield's graduation address to the graduating class at West Point. I forget what year it is. And it goes, "The discipline that makes the soldiers of a free country is not to be gained by harsh or tyrannical treatment. On the contrary, such treatment is far more likely to destroy than to make an army." And this is the part I like. "It is possible to impart instructions and give commands in such a manner and such a tone of voice as to inspire in the soldier nothing but an intense desire to obey." Your tone matters, ladies. If it matters to us men, it matters to you as well. And let me explain something to you. And I'm about to give you, everybody that is on this broadcast right now, I'm going to give you $1,000 worth of advice right now. Ladies, do you understand that the primary way that men experience love from any woman is through respect? Do you get that? If there is even the slightest hint or tint of disrespect in your voice, the man immediately, you know how, ladies, your walls go up? The man's haunches come up, the hairs on the back, on his back, his lizard brain engages, and he's like, "Oh, she's disrespecting me." And just like God and sin cannot exist in the same place, disrespect and love cannot exist in the same place when it comes to men. Our brain is wired that way. So the first thing that you want to do is make sure that you're coming from a position of respect. Every man's love language is respect. I've read the 5 love languages. Great book. I'm a words of affirmation guy. But the primary love language for every man, black, white, yellow, brown, red skin, doesn't matter, is respect.
Yes.
So the tone and tenor of your voice absolutely matters. The words that you choose matter. And I'm going to let you in. Okay, so I just gave you $1,000. I'm about to give you another 750. Here's another 750. Watch it. You got me on one, TJ. This is fun. I'm enjoying this. But here's the other thing. The second thing I'll tell you, ladies, femininity is so much stronger and so much more powerful than masculinity. Yeah, I said it. Mark it, timestamp it right now. 52 minutes and 12 seconds. El Guapo said it on Mosaic with TJ Randolph. Cocktails and Conversations. The power of femininity absolutely trumps masculinity.
It does.
I have never heard of a nation falling over the love of a man like we hear about Helen of Troy. Have you heard that story? I haven't heard it. Yeah.
No,
I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that. So I'm telling you, ladies, all of your power. Y'all need to go listen to Brittany Renner. I made a video on Brittany Renner and the Dark Triad.
Yes.
Brittany Renner has this video of her, no makeup, hair in a messy bun. She's wearing a pink hoodie and she's reading some notes she wrote to herself. And the first thing she said is, I realize that all of my power lies in my femininity. Now, Brittany is a little bit of a lunatic. Yeah. She is, but she's like an evil genius. That woman knows where her power lies. She does. To the point that she can write a book and make videos talking about, if you want to come up on a check, date an athlete because they're stupid and they don't wear prophylactics, and still get an athlete and get pregnant by him
and come off a check.
That's some power, yo. That is power right there. I'm telling you, man, ladies, all of your power lies in femininity. There is zero power for you ladies in masculinity. We got that on lock. Y'all can't mess with us. You can't.
Ladies, use your powers for good, not evil.
Amen. Please do. Because look, I'll tell you like this. And I've had this conversation with Labea. I was like, listen, you can get whatever you want. Just come at me the right way. I don't even mind you tricking me. Go ahead. Just fool me. Go ahead. Just do it in a feminine way. And I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. Oh, man, she hit me today. She asked me for, what did she ask me for? She's like, Guapo. She was like, I was in the store today. Labea, I hope you're still watching, because she just told me this before I got on with you. She was like, Guapo, I was in the store today and I wanted to ask you, I saw something I want. I was like, what do you want, baby? And she said, Christmas is coming. Christmas. That's how she says it. Christmas is coming up. And I want us to have a train under the tree this year. I said, okay. I said, yeah, we can get a train. And she said, it's like 130,000 pesos, which is like 30, 40 bucks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, can you put it in your bags? Because she's been buying gifts for everybody. I said, let me look on Amazon. Let me see what I see. I'm sitting here. She's talking about a $30, $40 train. I'm looking at the $300 Disney train, because she came at me from a feminine tone and tenor. And I like that. And I want to not necessarily please her or appease her, but I do want to provide. And one thing that woman doesn't do is she doesn't ask me for much.
Right.
Yeah, she does. She wants to go on a honeymoon in Bora Bora. TJ, I'm gonna need to borrow some money from you and Mr. Randolph. I ain't got it. Them AdSense checks ain't adding up enough. You know what I'm saying?
So you monetized. I
am monetized. We won't get you monetized. Listen, we need to do this again, and I would love to have you come over. And come over, and we want to promote the heck out of it. Yeah.
You know, I this time has gone by so fast. It's almost time to wrap up.
You're good. I'm on your schedule. I do have an early day tomorrow, but we can hang out for a little while longer. I'm good.
Because I am totally enjoying this. I tell you, it's funny because my husband, you know, and this is for you again. This is for you women. I'm sharing things, because I didn't do it right the first time. And I think of how much I robbed myself. But, everything happens when it's supposed to. because my brothers, my dad, mom, friends that have known me since I was 8 years old, friends I had in college, they have said to me, they have never seen me happier. And
Wow.
I've made and still make good money. But to your point, my husband didn't care. My husband never asked me and still doesn't really know how much I make because he don't care.
Right. Right.
But he don't care. But when I told him I was getting to a point of personal reasons that I wanted to apply for a retirement for the federal government, he says, "Well, do it."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I've shared this story. I'm still, I still get paid leave, but because there's a timekeeping error and stuff, I haven't been paid for my job in 6 weeks.
And Mr. Randolph hasn't skipped a beat, has he?
And I didn't even notice that I hadn't.
Man, see, that's what I'm talking about. Listen,
Yeah.
TJ, I'm about to do a video. I'm gonna do a video. I came across a news story of a man. May I ask you what state you're in? You've told me you're in Texas. You're in Texas.
Yes, the DFW.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Have you been to Atlanta?
I've been through it. Yes, my ex-husband's family is there.
Okay, so you know where Buckhead is?
Yes.
Upper class area of Atlanta, right? Mm-hmm. There's a video from the local news station there of a guy that comes to a single mother's home. She's got 2 sons in Buckhead. Great community. Now, let me tell you something. I am from Baltimore County, but I went to school in the city. Okay. And one thing I know is that when it comes to, if you're going to rob somebody, you don't rob the folks in the poor neighborhood. If you're trying to come up, you go to the good neighborhood. Right. If you've made the decision that you're going to put it at risk like that, this dude had gone and like for 13 or 19 days straight had scoped out this lady's house, figured out there was no man in the house. No man, TJ. Came with a white van and a big, huge bouquet of flowers. Knocks on the door. Woman sees a bouquet of flowers. Oh, of course I'm going to open the door. Opens the door. He says, "This is heavy. Can I sit it down on the table?" When he sits it down. She's looking at the card. Oh my goodness. She turns around. Dude has a taser right there. Tases this black woman in her home with her 2 sons. And by the grace of God, she got away and he ran away. But I'm going to tell you what, there is no amount of money that will replace the masculine energy in the house. Let me tell you what else. Ladies, I love y'all. There is no amount of money. Labea has been in Colombia for 2 months working out some visa stuff. I miss my shorty. Y'all should see our house. Like, actually, you shouldn't see our house. I'm not messy at all, but there's certain things I don't like doing anymore. Being in the military, I don't like making my bed anymore. And I don't like folding clothes. I'll wash the clothes. The clothes are clean, but I don't like folding my clothes. Labea loves it. She loves it. She literally will say, "I love folding clothes." I'm like, "What's wrong with you? I know you're from Colombia. Are you doing that cocaine? What's going on?" But I'm going to tell you, ladies, there's so much power in your femininity.
Yeah.
There really is. And I just, yeah, blessed one. Yeah, they're still looking for that guy. They haven't even caught the guy. Rolled up in dudes. Both her kids were home. And she tased him in his home. When that bump in the night goes off, and I've had it happen several times, you want a first line of defense. Okay, and our instinct is to be that,
I got a story. There was a knock at the door at at like 1 a.m. because I'm here a lot of times, not all the time, but my husband's on the road. And instinctually, I go for my gun.
Of course.
Instinctually. But my husband, he just went to the door, and I'm like, just his whole, again, the first line of defense, but while I'm getting my gun, he already at the door. What?
Yep.
I'm like, boy, you about to get it. You know it. Because it just...
It's like that. It's like that.
Yes. I'm like, yes. I mean, just like someone, I think the covering of a man. And I'm like,
Mhm.
I've been missing out. Trying to be a man and didn't even know I was.
And a lot of that is so instinctual. And ladies, if you've never had it, you don't understand what it is.
I'm
My
not ready.
second wife
Uh,
is a Georgia peach through and through. Wonderful
mhm,
woman, very pretty, very feminine.
mhm.
But she did something, and boy, I dug into her about this. I'm an extremely, excuse me, light sleeper. The smallest thing will wake me up. And you know how you can set different alarm tones for your phone?
Mhm.
She had one that was the doorbell.
Uh-oh.
And I heard it one time. I was like, hey, honey, I need you to change that. That's not going to be good for me. TJ, I woke up one night, and this is a male's instincts. Understand this. Ladies, like, imagine protecting your children or something like that. You have this instinct too, but just at a different level. TJ, I wake up consciousness in my boxers on the front porch of my house. Don't remember how I got there. And adrenaline pumping, chest
Right.
puffed out,
Right.
fist balled up, and everything. And I'm like, what is going on? It's dark outside. I look at my watch. It's like 3 a.m. I go back upstairs, and I was like, what's going on? And then the 5-minute snooze goes off, and it's her alarm again, and it's the doorbell. And I'm like, yo, didn't I tell you to change this? You got me outside looking like a fool in this neighborhood. And it's natural instinct to men.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you something. I'm not an aggressive dude. I'm not a fighter. I hate fighting. I abhor it. I'm trained to do it, but I don't like it. I do like shooting, though.
Me too.
Yeah, I was a marksman on the M9 and the M16.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. I actually perfect scored the M16 back
No,
in the
I
day.
didn't. I was
Yeah, I perfect scored
not
it.
what's the, okay, what's yeah, sharpshooter, what's the one right above that? I wasn't expert, it was one in the middle.
Marksman.
Okay, so that's why I wasn't an M16, but I did expert on that 9mm though, because
Yeah.
you know I had to have the 9.
There you go. You got that push pull. Yeah.
Oh man,
Yep.
I love it, but
Yeah.
I love it, but it was nothing like having. And yeah, Uncle Stu, you're right. You know, the instinct was me to go get my gun, but I had, you know, I'm like, I don't have to go get my gun. My husband, but you know, when I'm getting my gun, he already at the door. What?
He's already at the door. That's why I told that story. I was at the door and didn't even remember it. I'm on the porch in this neighborhood, and they got me messed up in my boxers. You know, yeah, because it is a man's instinct to get in front of his lady. It really is. Y'all ladies don't understand. Y'all can have it so good. You could have
and
it
you know what
so good.
you talked about this because with Labea when she goes up and down the stairs, and my husband does the same thing. But I also talked about El Guapo. I had to get this revelation, and I didn't even think about it. And ladies, hear me. How many times before I met my husband in my early years did a man want to wash my car? Or a man want, because I was saying that my husband, when he's home, he fills my car up with gas. He checks my tires. He, you know, washes the car. All these things. And how many times did, you know, during the course of my life did I may date someone that wanted to do those things for me? I'm like, oh no, I got it. No, I got it. No, I got it. No, I got it. And then I say, after a while, they're gonna let you have it.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a pastor back in the day here in Baltimore. Actually, excuse me, not pastor. Dr. Frank Madison Reed III at Bethel AME Church.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, ladies, you have one time to take a job from a man, and then it's going to be yours. And it's the truth. I'm going to tell you what.
Truth, it is.
When your man really cares about you, and I didn't say the word love, but really cares about you, but really cares. I had a routine when I would come home, my second marriage. I would come home, I would park my car. My ex-wife would normally be home already. I would grab the keys from our little key tree with the hooks there.
Mm-hmm.
And Before I got comfortable, I might come use the bathroom or something. But before I took my shoes off and everything, I would go start her car and check the gas gauge. And if her gas gauge was low, I'd open that garage door and I would back up and I would go fill up her tank. Don't even say anything to her. And come back and make sure she had a full tank of gas. I'd hit the squeegee on the windows, make sure she's good. I used to rain X her junk too. So in case it rained real bad, and make sure she's good.
Right.
Ladies, you don't understand what you're missing out on, but keep doing it your way. Strong and independent. Yes. Go ahead.
It's
this
overrated.
Pandemic's about to get worse.
It's overrated. And I tell you, since I've been home, you said LaBea loves folding your clothes. It's interesting because I just enjoy serving him. I swear, because I was at my daughter's house watching my grandchild on Friday, and then he texted me that he was coming home early. I'm like, Dan, I got to get out. I got to go. Because I have a routine. I want to make sure when he's home, everything's clean, put up, smelling good, relax, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, when my husband, he's a hardworking man. When he's home is castle, and I want, food, whatever. And again, that's again going back to why I started my channel.
Right.
Ladies, don't deprive yourself. And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm grateful to God for second chances, because I have to think about if I was going the way that I had continued to go, and even though I had my daughter out of wedlock, I'm blessed because again, I probably wouldn't have ended up having a child at all.
Wow.
I would have wasted because I would have, because I had her at 27.
Right.
So I would have wasted and wouldn't even know what that is like. And some women don't want that, but I knew I did. And even though it did not happen the way I hoped that it would happen, I'm grateful that it did happen. That because had I not had her, I wouldn't have a granddaughter. So learn from what I did, learn from her. My daughter's saying, I listened to her and I'm so proud of her because she said, she looked for 5 things in a man. Ooh. And none of them had to do with looks. All of them had to do with character, work ethic, a strong foundation in God. Came from a big family, had a strong family tie because, she was the only child. One that was ambitious. And she said not necessarily ambitious to have a whole bunch of money, but she said a provider. Not necessarily that he had to have a big job, but had the motivation to provide.
Right.
And she said, yeah, I wanted someone that I was attracted to, but she said, God wasn't going to play me like that. God wasn't going to give me somebody that I wasn't attracted to. And it's true. So again, she tapped into it early. And again, she graduated. And here's the thing too. I said, Danielle, you're the only one that did it right. You went to school, graduated, found your husband, got married, then had a kid.
That's the way to do it. She was in order.
Breaking generational curses. So it can be done. And I tell you, ladies, and I get emotional still because I get emotional thinking about the chance that God has given me. Because like you said, I'm the one who got you said the buzzer shot or something like that, because
buzzer beater. Yep.
Because I didn't think I was going to ever see it. Mm-hmm. And I'm grateful, but I had to get over myself. Right. I had to get over myself, and I had to let a man be a man. And I'm so grateful that I did.
I'm happy, man. Boy, listen, it's been a rough week and 2 months, especially with my lady gone. I think this is the hardest I've smiled since then. Shout out to KP from KC5. My man said he's filling up his wife's car right now. That's what I'm talking about, dog. Good for job, yo. Good job. Your wife's car.
Yeah.
Not some random chick from Tinder's car. Ladies, you're supposed to be a wife first.
Correct.
You don't get this treatment unless you do the work too on yourself.
Okay,
So
blessed one. You said you sent me a DM to my Instagram. I'll check it, sweetheart. I'll check it. You know, I'm just gonna get to this really quick. I'm not gonna get to the other stuff, and we'll have to do that in the next visit. But I want to talk real quick
okay.
about. You said you met the love of your life
Mhm,
online. You shared that on your channel, and I met the love of my lifetime online.
mhm.
Now, tell me, if you don't mind sharing with us, what made you go that route, or had you been thinking about it, or
So I met my second wife online.
okay,
I actually did.
okay.
And I'll tell you what, um, I just realized the world had changed. I met my first wife in college. You
Mhm,
know, you're
mhm.
talking, I was class of 2003 at the Air Force Academy. So
Okay,
that's a lifetime ago.
right.
Um, when I got back in the dating game, I realized how much things had changed and I was busy.
Yeah.
And the one thing I will say about online dating is that it's not as time consuming. You know, you can do some of the vetting up front and stuff like that and not waste a whole lot of time. And
Mhm,
I was a busy guy. I was busy. And so when I met my second wife and we went out on a date in Atlanta, um, I knew right away. I knew. And she's a good woman. I have nothing that I'm willing to say negative about her on any
sure,
public platform.
sure.
But I sent my mother a text message and I said, I am on a first date with my future wife. And what's dope is check this out. 6 months later, when she and I brought her up to Baltimore to meet my mom, or up to Maryland. My mother didn't live in Baltimore then.
Mhm.
I said, Mom, let me borrow your phone. She let me borrow her phone. And I scrolled up to 6 months before. I said, this is the message I sent on December 21st on our first date. And
Wow.
she's like, oh my goodness. I got some good booty that night. But anyway, I'm just being honest.
That's right. Hey.
Yeah. Anyway, um, when it comes to online dating, for men that are busy,
Mhm,
that or a matchmaker, right now, if for some reason I didn't have a lady, I'd get a matchmaker. I just would.
mhm,
If I decided that's what I wanted to do, I would get a matchmaker because I'm just too busy. My time's a little too valuable
mhm,
to go out. If I happen to see you in the grocery store or the gym, I have no problem approaching,
mhm.
but I just don't have time for it. I
Right.
don't. So I think online dating actually does have its place, and there are definitely um, I don't want to say needles in the haystack, and I don't want to say diamonds in the rough. Hidden jewels. There you go.
Yeah.
Hidden jewels um, in online dating. They're out there for sure. When I found Labea, I've been kind of on a dating tear, and I was because my time matters. I
Mhm.
was doubling up. I was doing 2 dates a day. I'd have an afternoon and an evening date. And I will say this. Out of all of the women that I went on dates with, they were all African American with the exception of two. One was Caucasian and one
Mhm.
was Colombian, and the Colombian was Labea. And when I went, I mean, the very beginning, she was so feminine. She was like, she gave me her phone number. You want to hear the story? I've never told the story
That's
online. You
why
want
I
to hear
love
it?
to hear it. Yes.
Okay. So I'm in Baltimore. She was in Washington, D.C. And she said, I called her and she was like, oh my God. This is how she talks. She's like, oh my God, that voice. And I was like, yeah. I said, well, listen, and I'm gonna test you. I was like, listen, I'm gonna be in DC later. Get yourself together. I'm gonna take you out. I'm not asking you anything. That's just how I'm built, but not all guys can do that. But
Okay.
um, and she's like, okay. And Labea, get in the chat and co-sign me so you know I'm not they know I'm not lying. You know, and I'm gonna keep my hands here. Labea is real. It's not a like me pretending to be Labea. But I'm gonna keep
Okay.
my hands on the mic. But she was like, I actually had a date set for that
Mhm.
afternoon. I was meeting her at the National Mall. Pretty black woman that had this great picture of her in a purple dress and her real hair, and she looked so nice, and her smile was so radiant. And LeBay was like, well, listen, I don't have a car. I catch the metro everywhere. Will you come pick me up? What woman do you know that asks for a man to come pick her up? You know what I'm saying? And I was like, this is great. This is so awesome. LeBay, you're disappointing me. You're going to be grounded if you don't respond and say this is the truth. She's probably doing something else. She's with her auntie and her mom. Okay. But so I went on the first date, and Shorty, that was in the purple dress and everything, showed up with these big fake blonde box braids and the raptor nails and gym clothes. We're talking the National Mall in Washington, D.C. I'm wearing, I'm nice. This is the most casual you'll see El Guapo outside of the gym. You know what I'm saying? I've got a nice designer shirt on. I'm wearing Tom Ford cologne. You know what I'm saying? And she showed up in gym clothes. She was like, oh, I thought I would go for a run after this. I'm like, yo, I'm not secondary or tertiary to your plans. That's not how that works. So we got a hot dog, had a conversation, and that was it. I then went and picked up LaBea, and she gave me a fake address. So I knocked on somebody's door, and she actually lived across the street, right? I knocked on the door, and I had to call her, and she came out, and she had on her little black dress and her heels. And I'm like, oh, you showed out like that instantly. See, ladies, you have to understand, with a guy, more often than not, a little effort goes a long way. A long way. And I was like, I'm about to take her to my spot. So we went to a place called Zeppelin, which is one of the highest rated sushi restaurants in DC. It was Michelle Obama's favorite place to go. Okay. And it was off the chain. You want some good scotch? It has good Japanese scotch there, and you're going to drop some dough. So I went in. LaBea doesn't know this. I slid the maitre d' an extra $40 just to give us a real nice table outside with a great view and all that stuff. And we sat there and we had such a great conversation. And then we went and, we walked Adams Morgan, which is like a little walking street with restaurants. And immediately, you know what LaBea did? We stopped to have a drink. And you know what she said? She was like, let me pay for this. And insisted on our first date. Now, I paid the big $150, $200 bill. But the fact that she bought me a $9, $10 beer, a little effort goes a long way, ladies. A little effort goes a long way.
Okay, you did yours. I got to do mine.
Oh, give it to us. Give it to us.
Okay. Because I met my baby online as well. And timing is everything. Because I had just been dating a guy, kind of shorter. We were getting to know each other for a couple of months, but it just wasn't, there was really no chemistry. So I happened to go, we were on this dating site, and I'll just be honest, it was Plenty of Fish.
Okay. I met my second wife on Plenty of Fish. Yep.
And it was funny because I saw him, I saw he had looked at my profile. So I went, but he didn't reach out to me. So I went to look at his profile and saw his had this beautiful smile. And I, said, hey there. And then he reached back out and we were talking. And we talked for hours. Well, our first date, me and LaBea, we right here because I had on my little black dress.
That's right. Wives think alike. What I say?
Had my little black dress. And again, we had FaceTime, but we hadn't seen each other in person. So when he saw me walking across the parking lot, I saw that smile and knew it was him. Right. So, but again, this is really interesting, ladies. I want you to hear, because I paid attention to what he liked during our conversations. And I know that he was really health conscious and like organic stuff. And there's this place I knew they had these wonderful gourmet Angus hamburgers. And so I knew that he would like it. And so I suggested that. So we went to a dinner and a movie. So he paid for the dinner and we had a nice dinner. We're going to walk across the street to the movie. Well, as we're getting ready to go to the movie, he couldn't find his credit card. Now, mind you, he just used his credit card across the street to pay for dinner. So obviously he had it. So he said, I'm going to walk across the street. to get, to see if someone turned it in. So while he was there, I just wanted to pay for the tickets. I just went.
What I'm
I just went.
talking about.
I just went on and paid for the movie tickets because I said, well, if his credit card doesn't show up, I at least want to salvage the night. I don't want him to be upset. So I paid for the tickets. So fortunately, someone had turned his credit card in, and he came back and he was getting ready to pay for the ticket. I said, no, I already got it.
That's what TJ, and look, that right there, he was like, uh-oh. Yeah, I'm telling you, if you understand the psyche of a man,
mm-hmm.
that singular moment, what did the tickets cost you? $30?
Yeah, if that. And he insisted
that
on
$30
paying.
Probably was the entry point to you getting a ring.
Well, here's the
because
thing.
It showed a helpmate mentality.
Absolutely. And then so he insisted on giving the money for the tickets. I said, well, okay, since because he forced me, I said, well, I'll tell you what, let me get the popcorn and beverages. I said, at least let me do that. So so I did that. But again, it wasn't, and again, I didn't, the idea he had to take me to this special restaurant or no. And ladies, sometimes we play ourselves, young and old, because we want, well, he should have took me there. He should have, no. Maybe they're doing that to see where your head is and what you're really about. Because since we've been together, he's taken me to many 5-star restaurants. Many. Of course. And bought me many, shall I say?
Yeah, right. I know how that feels.
So again, like you said, a little bit goes a long way because
a little effort goes a long way with a real man.
I was about him from, So again, we met online, and my point is, to your point about, you were busy, and the truth of the matter is I wasn't as busy as you, but the truth of the matter is we probably would have met any other way because, as I said, we didn't go to the same church. We didn't shop at the same grocery stores. Although we lived 6 miles apart because he was on the road a lot, we probably never would have met.
Oh, you guys were that close. Wow.
Yeah, we were 6 miles apart, but we probably never would have met because we didn't in the same circle. So I had to take a chance. So, you, as I said before, you can meet good people anywhere. You can meet bad people anywhere. So you do have to sift through but when people are showing you things from the early on. And one thing, and I'm sure you will say the same with Lapeef, he was consistent from day one.
Yep. He was who he was. And what's dope is you made the decision to be who you were and be disciplined and consistent in that as well. And that's the difference, ladies. That's the difference. But you hear fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive. Although I do agree with the fit thing, men are visual first. Man, there's something about that cooperation.
Yeah.
There is something about that cooperation. If you have to pick one, do that one first. Because your mouth will disqualify you before your weight with me.
Okay, right.
I'm just saying that mouth will disqualify you before your weight. Now, your weight is a close second, but your mouth will get you out of the game just like that. So being cooperative with a man is huge. Wow, this was fun. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna save the other topics for next time because it's been totally fun. I know you have to get ready for your work, and my dog has been outside looking at me like, you gonna just leave me out here?
Well, listen, I'll tell you what. Let's do it again. I will work something out, and next week we can either do it on my platform or yours, ladies' choice. Okay. I will commit to a time next week we can finish the conversation because I feel like we have a lot that's left on the table, and this has been fun. I don't think I've had this much fun. Maybe Blind Guy, his wife, their life, but I don't think I've had this much fun on an interview before. Yeah, it's a cocktail. You're slacking on your pimping. Look at this.
No, I done refilled a couple of times.
Oh, I see. Because you're a boss. Yeah, I love it.
Gotta have it on the side.
TJ, this was awesome. This was awesome. I had so much fun.
Me too. thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for more. And you all have a wonderful evening. And thank you so much, El Wapo. And
It's
thank you,
been
La
my pleasure.
Bella. Have a good night.
Yeah, LeBay is grounded because she didn't come and co-sign what I was
She
saying.
was
LeBay, you're on punishment.
she was working on her next project for you.
Yeah, probably. She's probably doing her toes. She knows I like them toes.
I'm
So
just saying.
yeah, I know, right?
Good night.
Hey, to the Mosaic team, it was so much fun. I loved hanging out with you guys. It has been a blessing. If you have not subscribed to Mosaic with TJ Randolph, shame on you. You're missing out on the best things in life. You're not going to
thankful
get
that
this
El
type of
Wapo
stuff
team is
anywhere
showing
else.
some love, because they showed me
Yeah.
some love tonight. Thank you. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you. Thank you.
And if you are from TBL, Team Beautiful Lies, also known as the best leaders, give my lady, my missus, not my missus, but Mr. Randolph's missus, a subscribe, a like, and hit that notification bell. We're a team, we're a movement. And
Yeah.
look, what I say all the time, sing Neo song, y'all know I can't sing. I'm a movement by myself, but
Hey.
I'm a force when we're together. Yeah, I need y'all. So come on.
We're trying to get people hooked up in here.
I'm telling you, we need more people like TJ out here leading from the front for the ladies. So make sure you guys give her a subscribe, give her a like. It doesn't cost anything. Y'all are so cheap. I'm talking to my audience, not yours. I'm talking to my audience. Shout out to Uncle Stu. Uncle Stu, what's up, my man? Uncle Stu, I'm gonna give you a call. I'm super busy tomorrow and Wednesday, but we're gonna chop. I had a great conversation with Uncle Stu, the old man on the block last week.
Too.
Yeah, I love me some Uncle Stu. So great job, Uncle Stu. Thank you so much. And we'll do this soon.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Have a good night.
El Wapo out.